for the soul of the land. Spreading the heart from the sea and the sand till the sun comes up again. Explore the sky, keep your eye on the prize. Forever in my mind, you're my golden sunshine. It's waiting in your mind, so push them clouds aside. Forever by my side, you're my golden sunshine.
Well, hello, peeps, peepettes, smurfs, smurfettes, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, children, aunties, uncles, grandparents, and anybody else that is watching. Today we are doing some powerharrrrrrrooowing. Sorry, I can't say it. Powerharrrrrrooowing. Power harrowing. We got there. But yeah, so the reason I'm doing this, it's a last resort. There's a couple of fields where this has to be done. This is going to be drilled with spring barley, and it's one of the fields on this farm that has got a nasty strong bank that runs right the way through the middle of the field. It's an old river bank. It's the old River Idle used to run through, and all the topsoil got washed away, stripped away, and we're just left with sort of the subsoil there. And with all the weather that we've had, all the wet weather, it crumbled down quite nicely on top, but underneath it was sour, wet, horrible stuff. So I'm not power harrowing the whole field, I'm just power harrowing this patch at an angle. Yes, I'm doing this at an angle, and drilling, I was drilling at an angle to what had been cultivated. And the reason we do that, there's a few reasons we do that, is if you cross the ploughing with a cultivator, you're levelling the field out. If you go with the ploughing, you're not. The ploughing should be level anyway to begin with, but yeah, so if you're crossing at an angle, you're pulling soil with you, and you're pulling the soil into all the holes and divots, so you get a much more level, flatter finish. And then drilling at an angle to the cultivating, if the cultivator's left any sort of low spots, or if it's not quite taking its wheelings out in places where it's a bit softer, if I'm following that cultivator down the field, when I'm drilling, if my coulters end up in a wheeling, they can be in that wheeling throwing seed on top all the way down the field. Whereas if I'm crossing it, the drill's bringing a small amount of soil with it, and when I get to those wheelings, it'll cover that seed up, and it's only for a short, as wide as a wheel is, if you know what I mean. So what's the fence, 900, so it's for just less than a metre, where the seed will be a little bit shallower. So yeah, that's the way we do it. There is obviously controlled traffic farming, which I know Andy and Rick. Andy watches my videos. Andy and Rick, they're a local farm. They do controlled traffic there, and I think it's a brilliant way of farming. I think it's a fantastic way of farming. I'm also a big fan of this no-till farming. Obviously it's a bit, there won't be very much for me to do doing that, but I'm a big fan of it. I think it's brilliant. I love the controlled traffic. I just on the same tram lines every time, and those bits in between never ever get run on, and I know it's good for the soil. And the direct drilling, the no-till farming, that's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I mean, I know for the first, what, 4 or 5 years, something like that, you get a reduced yield, but then after that, once all the little capillaries have been made in the soil and all the roots have done the job, and the bacteria's broken down everything, and everything that basically everything the plant needs is now in the soil. It's fantastic. It alleviates soil erosion. There's always something in there to stop it. Brilliant. But bringing back to why we've got this, why I'm power harrowing, we're a mixed vegetable and arable farm. So we have vegetables of every single kind you can imagine, and cereals, and controlled traffic. We could do controlled traffic in the cereal crops, but the only problem is we grow vegetables, and there's everybody needs to eat vegetables. Everyone, whether you like them or not, everybody eats them, and you cannot grow vegetables on a controlled traffic system because the vegetables are grown in beds, and it's just impossible. So yeah, we'll go and look at those seagulls. Look, you horrible flying rats, you white devils. So we'll get out and we'll have a look at what I'm doing. Instead of having a cup of tea, I'm going to be nice, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what I'm doing. I'll leave the power harrrrrrrrooowing running so you can see. Right then, guys, so this is what I'm dealing with, is, you know, big clots like that. The top down's been through it, and you know, it can't really do much with them. You can see this is strong land, and this has had a vegetable crop in it, but look, you know, that's not like a brick, is it? And you can see all the wormholes. But yeah, so this is what I'm trying to knock down, and it's still leaving, you know, quite a few clots, and to be honest with you, it could really do with another pass. This is one of the worst patches in the field, but getting the seed in and get further down, look, and yeah, there's a nice tilth there, you know, underneath. Get plenty of pressure on the coulters and get it rolled in, and we'll be all right. It's what the power harrow tends to do. It tends to knock all the, once you've been over with it, you always end up with the biggest lumps on top. It stirs the soil up, and all the fine particles, all the tilth, tends to settle a couple of inches down. You know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that down there, but it's just these big clots that the trouble, you know. So maybe give that another quick tickle before I finish. So on the 240, and this is our Cavernland 6 metre power harrow, and as you can see, it's got these rotating tines which do spin faster than that when I am working. And I know a lot of you there have seen a power harrow before, and you think, why is he on about? Why is he telling us how power harrow works? Anyway, it's PTO driven. These tines spin in opposite directions to one another, and as you're working through the soil, the clods get smashed to pieces and hit by those tines, and behind it there's a board, a levelling board or a clod board or whatever you want to call it, which holds soil back and allows soil through once it's been broken down to sort of a certain size. And it also, the tines will throw soil against the board and smash it up. So, and because it holds soil back, it levels everything. You know, the soil will drop into the low parts and it'll pull soil with it on the mounds. And then on the back, we've got this sponge roller. Now, you won't have seen many of these, I don't think. I certainly haven't, apart from when I've been here. It's made from a spongy material, as you can see. And basically, there's two reasons we use it. On our light fluffy land, if we have just this normal steel packer, what it does, it stops spinning. It hasn't got enough grip on the soil to turn because the land is so fluffy and so light. So We got this because it's got lots and lots of these sort of raised bits, noggins, lumps, which penetrate into the soil and give it the traction, in a manner of speaking, to actually be able to turn. And it works very well. It keeps turning in our light land, whereas a steel packer wouldn't, or a flexi coil. Flexi coils are awful on our land. And as well, with it being spongy, when it's wet it's self-cleaning with no scrapers on it. So when the weight of the power harrow, as it turns over and it comes underneath, it's got the weight of the power harrow, and it pushes, it squeezes everything that's stuck to it off. Or at least that's the theory. As you can see anyway, I've got the this is the drill that I use for drilling the winter cereals. So it's still got all the drill stuff connected to it. It was pretty much pointless taking all that off to power harrow 20 acres. So it's not causing me any bother. So it can stay on there, and you can see I need to give it a bit of a service. But there's the old style Suffolk coulters, which are well out of date now. They are being changed, but yeah, so you can see the spacing. And then here, look, we've got a coulter there and one all the way over there, and that's because it's permanent tram lines, like I showed you in the last drill video. So I don't have to worry about any tram line sequences. I literally just go up and down and drill, but I have to make sure everything I do is in a straight line, because when the hoes turn they end up taking the crop out. So I've always got to be in a straight line, and some people always think when I come to a corner, you know, sweeping corner, why haven't I just driven round it like that? Why have I gone and it's so the hose can hoe it. See, it needs a good service, old lass. But yeah, markers. So that's why all the drill gubbins are on the back. And also the roller is hydraulic. Can power the roller off of those rams there. Excuse me. And that really, there are shims that you can take in and out to adjust it. So yeah, sometimes I'll take all the shims out, and depending on how bad the soil is, or how varied, should I say, how varied the soil is, so I'll control the depth as I'm going up and down the field to suit various soil conditions. Whew. Right, so what I was on about with the isobus and control boxes, the isobus alleviates having these. Oh, excuse me. This is a control box for the power harrow. So on this side you've got fold, float, that's for your folding. On here, push it up to fold, and then every time everything works off of these two buttons here. I've got them into a number 5 spool. So let's just say I want to move the roller, so this one here is for the roller. So flick that up, press these buttons. I don't know if you can see, that's lifted it up and that's popped it back down, up, down. So now I'll flick that off because I don't want to use it anymore. If I want to use my markers, press that one. You can see out goes a marker, in goes a marker. Flick that down. This one is to lift the coulters in and out. So when I'm power harrowing, I have them all the way up, and when I'm drilling, they're all the way down. And if you can see that, see them moving. There we go. Put that one to the middle, and this one here is for the coulter pressure. Now you won't be able to see that moving, but what that's doing, there's a board which springs are attached to, and it basically puts more pressure on the springs, pulls the board backwards. More pressure on the springs equals more pressure on the ground for the coulters, and I have that completely free floating, so I'm adjusting the pressures all the time up and down the field. And you have to be a lot more keen with those Suffolk coulters. You have to be on it constantly, because they're either exactly where they should be or they're on top. There's no in between with them. So yeah, so that's all the controls. So I want to be in float, I want to have my roller, so I'm operating it off my roller, that's it. I've got the AB line in, so the power harrow, it's 1000 speed on the PTO. And I've got my engine presets set down here. So number 1 I've got set to 1100 revs, and number 2 I've got set to 1950, which is 1000 on the PTO. My depth control right the way down to the bottom, it's because it's got a roller and I want all the weight to be on that packer, that roller. So I just drop it right down to the ground, and it'll only go as far as the top link, and the roller will let it. Oh, excuse me. So I've also got my automatic PTO engaged, so let's just do a bit. So I'm going to rev it up, so I'm going to press this button down here. I really hope you can see, because I've lost connection to my phone, so I can't see what you can see. Come on. No, we'll keep going anyway. So to rev it up, I press the button underneath the multi-controller, which is away. Engage the auto steer. And we are power harrowing. So like I said, I'm not doing all of the field. I'm just doing the strong bits, this strong bank. So to get to the field, I press the up button for my linkage. But what I like to do when I'm only doing little bits of the field is I'll turn before, and then I'll just only slightly. I wouldn't advise turning full lock. Press the button to go up. There you go, the power harrow's turned off. Press that button there to rev it down. Now I ain't got my power harrow lifted all the way up. I've got it just so it clears the ground, and then drop it back in. Power harrow starts just before it gets into the soil. Press that button again to rev it up, and I do that so I take out the little hump that it leaves. Press the automatic button, and we're away again. You can see that I've taken when you lift the power harrow up, if you're carrying a lot of soil with you, you can leave a hump, so that's why I like to turn and then turn in again, because I can take that hump out. Catch this bit here. Red Bull to keep me going. It's bad for you. shouldn't drink it. I had quit. Again, so I'd turn that way just a little bit, lift up as I'm moving, go back on myself, so that lump is now down the middle of the tractor, lower the powerharrrrrr and away. You can see it's got rid of that lump and it's left no wheelings. Oh, the wife is ringing me. Should I answer? I think I'd better. Oh no, she's gone. She's gone. She must want another boyfriend. Right, so what I'll do now then, I've shown you about as much as I can show you from in the cab, so now I will see if I can position my GoPro somewhere for you to have a look at me powerharrrrrrring ring. Alright guys. So that's, oh dear, oh that's a backbreaker. That'll be a text message. Who is it? Lee, saying I'm rough. Oh God, I've lost my train of thought now. That's it then for this video. Hope you've enjoyed a little bit of an insight into the powerharrrrrrring. And yeah, so I'm going to pop my drill back on now, and next couple of days get this drilling wiped up, get it done, out of the way, and then I will be doing some ploughing and some disking and some cultivating and some grass, drilling some grass. So I've got to disc all the land, plough it and drill it. And all the big cultivation work and the ploughing will be on the big green beast. So there'll be plenty more videos of that. Alright then everyone, peeps, peepettes, smurfs, smurfettes, stoats and weasels, goblins and goldfish. I'll catch you all soon. Bye. Oh god, I can't turn the camera.